Life inevitably brings seasons of hardship, moments of grief, uncertainty, illness, financial strain, loneliness, or fear. During such times, the human heart naturally searches for stability and hope. For Catholics, sacred scripture offers a profound source of comfort and guidance. A daily Bible verse can become a lifeline, reminding believers that God is present even when circumstances feel overwhelming. Trusting God in difficult times is not merely a spiritual ideal. It is a practical path toward peace, grounded in faith. One of the most beloved verses that speaks to this trust comes from the Psalms. "The Lord is my shepherd. There is nothing I shall want." Psalm 23:1. This image of God as a shepherd conveys care, protection, and guidance. Sheep depend entirely on their shepherd, especially when navigating dangerous terrain. Likewise, believers are invited to rely fully on God, trusting that He knows the path even when they cannot see it. The psalm continues, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me." Notice that the valley is not avoided, it is walked through with God's presence as the source of courage. Another powerful verse often read during trials is from the prophet Isaiah. "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be afraid, for I am your God." Isaiah 41:10. Fear is a natural response to danger or uncertainty, but Scripture repeatedly calls believers beyond fear into trust. This does not mean pretending that suffering is easy or painless. Rather, it means recognizing that God's strength is greater than any human weakness. The verse continues with a promise: God will strengthen, help, and uphold His people. For Catholics, this assurance echoes through the sacraments, especially the Eucharist, where Christ's presence becomes tangible nourishment for the soul. The New Testament deepens this message through the words of Jesus Himself. In the Gospel of Matthew, Christ invites all who are burdened. "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, and I will give you rest." Matthew 11:28. This rest is not simply physical relief, but spiritual peace, a quiet confidence that God is in control. Jesus does not promise that difficulties will vanish instantly. Instead, He offers companionship in suffering. Catholic spirituality emphasizes this union with Christ, particularly through meditating on His passion. When believers suffer, they can unite their pain with His, trusting that God can bring redemption even from the darkest experiences. St. Paul's writings also provide encouragement for enduring hardship. In his letter to the Romans, he declares, "We know that all things work for good for those who love God." Romans 8:28. This verse can be challenging because it does not deny the reality of evil or suffering. Rather, it affirms God's sovereignty, the belief that He can transform even tragedy into a greater good. Many saints testified to this truth through their lives. They endured persecution, illness, and loss, yet emerged with deeper faith and compassion. Trusting God daily often involves simple, concrete practices. Reading a short scripture passage each morning can anchor the day in hope. Praying the Rosary allows believers to contemplate Christ's life through Mary's loving perspective. Attending Mass, when possible, reconnects the faithful to the sacrificial love of Jesus. Even brief prayers such as "Jesus, I trust in you," can calm anxious hearts. Over time, these habits cultivate spiritual resilience, making it easier to face challenges without despair. Difficult times also reveal the importance of community. The Church is not meant to be lived alone. Fellow believers can offer prayer, practical help, and emotional support. In Catholic teaching, suffering united with Christ becomes meaningful, not wasted. It can deepen empathy, strengthen character, and draw people closer to God. While no one would choose pain, faith transforms how pain is experienced. Importantly, trusting God does not eliminate human responsibility. Seeking medical care, counseling, or practical solutions is not a sign of weak faith. On the contrary, Catholics believe God often works through ordinary means: doctors, friends, opportunities, and even unexpected events. Trust means cooperating with grace while surrendering the outcome to God's wisdom. In moments when hope feels distant, returning to a daily Bible verse can rekindle light. Scripture is not merely ancient text, it is a living word, speaking personally to each generation. As Hebrews 13:8 reminds us, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. The God who guided Israel through deserts, strengthened martyrs, and comforted countless believers throughout history remains present today. Ultimately, trusting God in difficult times is an act of love. It acknowledges that human understanding is limited, but God's goodness is infinite. Even when prayers seem unanswered, faith holds that God is working in ways unseen. The cross itself, once a symbol of defeat, became the instrument of salvation. This is the heart of Christian hope. Suffering does not have the final word. Each day brings new challenges, but also new mercies. By turning to Scripture daily, Catholics place their struggles into God's hands and receive the peace that surpasses understanding. In the quiet repetition of prayer and the steady rhythm of faith, believers discover a profound truth: they are never alone. God walks with them, strengthens them, and leads them step by step toward light, beyond the darkness. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next video.